Richa, Pratik, welcome to NDTV. Great to see both of you, especially after watching this amazing trailer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rohit. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Is there, my first question is obviously I'm someone who enjoys Who Done It. Is there no season, no time for Who Done It? Release it at any point through the year and people will be hooked onto it. Richa, you can go first.
I mean, a good, well-made horror film and a good whodunit, I think, are all seasonal joys. Even a good love story. I think a good story, gripping story, any time of the year is great.
Right.
And this is one of those. I mean, if you've read the book, it lends itself very nicely to the writing of a series format. Lovely cliffhangers already. So, it's going to be very, very gripping. I think we'll receive a lot of calls about insomnia on the night of the 4th because that you'll have a tough time.
Pratik, are you an audience for Who Done It?
Yeah, of course. I love these kind of this genre actually,
Right.
and because a lot of time as an audience, I feel that it challenges me to think a lot. It challenges me. So, and as an audience, you want to go one step ahead of the story.
Right.
मुझे लगता है ये हुआ होगा, मुझे लगता है ये हुआ होगा, and that is very interesting game to play with your own self.
Right.
So yeah, it's fun.
Right. As actors, do you guys, Richa, you first, do you watch a lot of things for leisure? Do you get to watch? Or is everything, when you watch, you're like, okay, let's see this acting, let's see the direction, let's see the writing? Or do you actually get time to watch something for yourself?
I watch a lot of things. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Modern Family on repeat. They have some great shows.
Right.
So I go through that phase when I'm just watching and rewatching things like comedies, which I like because I want to feel comforted. Other times I watch like a lot of cinema, thanks to the newly launched platform for that.
Yeah.
And I do watch a lot of things. And now I've expanded to watching things from all over. Earlier used to be like, Hindi or English, but now it's like, Malayalam film or a Korean film or whatever. It's really expanded.
Right. Pratik, how does one separate that when you're watching something? Are you watching thinking, let's watch the acting of these people and let's see the writing? Or just for yourself on an off day, you'll just forget about all that and enjoy the series?
So when I watch something, though I watch very less things, I don't get to watch a lot of things. मैंने बहुत कम फिल्में देखी होंगी पर अब तक की लाइफ टाइम में भी पर तो whenever I watch I actually want to watch as an audience. If something excites me, then I just get involved in it as an audience.
Right.
And that helps me get a third point of view for even my work.
Right.
Whenever even I am performing, I tend to think like an audience also.
Okay.
Is it landing? Is it translating? So that helps me. But yeah, so I am a very generic, normal, common audience.
Right.
किसी चीज को देख के ऐसा लगता है कि यार देखने में मजा आएगा तो मैं देख लेता हूँ.
Right. When you say you watch very less things at a time like this, when OTT, this has been a great year for OTT, 2 years. What kept you so busy that you watch less content?
So during this pandemic time, I watched, and I guess that's the maximum consumption of content that I've done in all these years.
Okay.
Because what has happened all these years is that I was always working. I had a full-time job, then theater, then this, then films. So I hardly got time.
Right.
और मुझे वो छोटे स्क्रीन पे देखने में मजा नहीं आता है. So I always waited कि आराम से देखूंगा और आराम कभी आया ही नहीं. तो वो रह जाता था.
Right. Right. Richa, what he's saying is interesting. that छोटे स्क्रीन पे देखने में मजा नहीं आता. Are you someone who wants perfect audio, a big screen at home, no disturbance, silence, lights off? Do you watch things like that?
Well, depends entirely. Obviously, because we've come from cinema, there's a certain love there. And now with Ali, it's like a lot of our courtship happened with us going for the first show, 11 a.m.
Okay.
IMAX Wadala, some new film is released. Come, let's go.
Right.
Like doing nothing else in the day, going and making an event out of watching that piece of cinema. So no, I don't really care for the other things. But yeah, abhi maine ghar pe in the lockdown only I upgraded my TV because I was like, अभी घर पे ही देखना है तो थोड़ा ठीक कर लेते हैं. पहले तो I didn't bother.
Right.
And it also depends on the thing. If there's a very hyped film, that I know I may not like, but people are telling me you have to watch, have to watch, have to watch. तो मैं phone पे भी देख लेती हूँ.
Okay, okay.
हाँ, ऐसा नहीं है.
Hey Pratik, what about you? Do you want Dolby at home, surround sound speakers? Are you into all that?
नहीं, देखिए बॉम्बे के घर इतने बड़े भी नहीं है कि डॉल्बी वॉल्बी सबके घरों में फिट भी हो, मतलब और वॉल टू सोफा जो डिस्टेंस भी होता है ना, इट्स नॉट दैट ग्रेट अ डिस्टेंस दैट यू हैव एवरीवेयर. सो या, बट इट्स अ गुड इनफ थिंग दैट आई वॉच. सो आई मीन डॉल्बी और ऐसा तो नहीं, पर ठीक ठाक सुनाई देना चाहिए, ठीक ठाक दिखाई देना चाहिए. अ वेरी स्मॉल स्क्रीन, नो, it irritates me because I can't look at that smaller screen for a longer time.
Okay.
Even if I have to read something.
Right.
So yeah, but then it is very difficult for me to sit for a longer time and keep looking at that small screen. So I avoid कि at least छोटा थोड़ा सा बड़ा screen हो तो चलेगा.
Enough है. Right. Richa, coming to the characters, it's a very, from the trailer, whatever little bit we can read into it, a very strong person, very strong character, strong, hard-hitting dialogues, very Tigbanshu. What was the initial brief, if you could give us an idea that, that led to this powerhouse dialogues?
Well, he's a writer and he also has a great sense of humor. So a lot of the dialogue comes from that sort of dark, black humor space, which I love personally. Yeah. But the brief for my character was just integrity and dignity.
Okay.
It was very simple, I think he's very clever like that. He's yeah. From the name of the character to everything, there's a dignity there. So that was literally the only brief I had to forever keep in mind, which doesn't mean that there won't be lighter moments or she won't slap somebody who's a criminal or whatever. Right. But primarily she's an upright person and she doesn't care much for promotions or money or things like that. Yeah.
Right. That's why the dialogue "Bachna nahi chahiye" is the first. It's beautifully said. Pratik, from what we've seen and enjoyed your work, everybody has. This is a very different character. This will be. Do you want to tell the audience that's watching how different will this be from what we have seen you before?
This is absolutely different. I have never done a character like this earlier. Okay. I mean, the basic thing is that I'm playing as CBI investigator for the first time.
Okay.
I never played this kind of characters even on stage where I worked the most. The other part is that it's a interesting layered character.
Okay.
So the character of Suraj Yadav, he comes from a different social strata. He has his own complexes. And his mechanism to overcome these complexes is very, very different. So now he's a street smart guy. He's like a fox. He knows the system and that's how he breaks the system.
Okay.
And that's how he manipulates it also.
Richa, Tigbanshu has a very funny sense of humor as well, but his sense of humor is so different that it can come suddenly in a serious dialogue that you're saying, suddenly something serious that you're saying. Is he like that in person for people who don't know him?
I mean, the thing is, I think, if as an evolved person, as a well-read person, you have a sense of humor about life.
Right.
And that sense of humor can come through. I've been talking about it, actually. Funny that you bring it up. The nuance in a well-written character or in a well-fleshed-out character is that only, like, you could be sitting at a cremation and something, hilarious could happen.
Right.
And which everyone will be awkward about, but someone will say it.
Right.
So I think he says that, and which is why it's kind of like it's inappropriate, because people are not always appropriate, at least not in their private spaces.
True.
And also it takes away the boring unidimensionality. So I find that to be his worldview.
Right.
And it reflects in his writing. It reflects in his dialogue. It reflects in his screenplay. That's why it's fun.
Right. Lastly, before I wrap, I'll ask both of you this question. Pratik, you can go first this time. Richa Chadha के बहुत सारे fans हैं जो ये देख भी रहे होंगे. What is the one thing that you discovered about her while working with her that you didn't know?
This is a new question,
Yeah, it's a very new question.
You've asked us very new questions. That's why I love you, Rohit.
I'm so glad.
So something about Richa Chadha which I have discovered is अब आई डोंट नो उनके फैंस शायद जानते ही होंगे ये, पर क्योंकि मैं पहली बार इनसे इस प्रोजेक्ट में मिला था और वी वर्क फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम टुगेदर, दैट शी इज अ ब्यूटीफुल ह्यूमन बीइंग,
Yeah.
very pure at heart. Whatever she thinks, she says,
Yeah.
and there are no filters. There are no filters at all.
Right.
It is
Very
so
interesting.
easy to connect with her.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I can totally, Richa, I can totally vouch for that. Anyone who knows you will agree with that thing.
Yeah, I think I don't have a filter. I don't know if it's a good thing, but yeah, yeah. But Pratik and I also connected because we are from theater, there's an affinity in
Sure.
general, like it's like kindred spirit. When somebody is from theater, they have put a few things, they have a few priorities. The priority could be the story. The priority could be creative satisfaction over money,
Right.
of connecting with the audience, of loving the format. So that gives you an insight into the kind of person that they are. When I met Pratik, I was just like, bro, you're on a roll. I'm so happy for you. Yay. It didn't feel like the first time at all.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I felt as if I'm meeting an old friend. Suddenly, school से कोई बहुत सालों बाद मिला है.
हाँ, it was exactly like that.
right. So lastly, this original question to you also, Richa. Pratik has his own fan following after his last series. So what is the one thing that you found out about him?
I found out, I think Pratik has been blessed because, he's been doing theater and working in his job, struggling, waking up at 4 a.m., doing a theater. मतलब मुझे ऐसी चीजें पता चली. He used to get up in the morning at like 4:30, go and rehearse a play in the morning from like 5 to 7 a.m., then go to his job from like 8 to whenever in the night, and then come back the next day, same. And I thought that, so what that tells me about Pratik is he's very dedicated. He loves the job. He loves it. He's interested in it. And because of that daily grind, that daily rigor, he's very humble about it.
Yeah.
He's very disciplined. Like I asked him, "Ke Pratik, aap itne duble ho." In Scam, I really had a different vision. He told me he lost some 18 kgs in 2 months.
Oh my God.
And all during the lockdown, all in a 2 BHK in Bombay. That tells me a lot about Pratik, That's why I feel like his future is very bright because he has he loves the job, he's disciplined, he's dedicated, and he's humble.
Right.
What can stop him?
What can stop him?
What
Great.
can stop him, Pratik?
Amazing. Good to know this, Pratik. Good to know this.
Yeah.
Great. So you both, you all keep entertaining us. You all do that so well in both your work individually, and this time looking forward to this together. Thank you so much and all the very best.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you very much.
Hope we meet in person again.
Yes. Thank
Soon,
you.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.